Welcome back to more Resident Evil. The last episode was exhausting, to say the least. Super stressful, super exhausting, super hide and seeky. So okay, yeah, we did get that crown. As you know, we lost Ashley. Verdugo kidnapped her. So we made it to the ballroom finally. Apparently, that's exactly where we're underneath, which explains the bugs in the water, I guess. Uh, But we made it through. Oh yeah, we did the library. We did the whatever guy down there. We went through the ballroom. We got here and we stopped, right? Because I didn't know it was going to be through here. And then of course we came back. We went in here and it was a double Garrador fight with goons that spawned. They jumped from the ceiling a lot, which was annoying. And the antechamber, right? So I'm running around. I barely get through it with no health left. To my knowledge, I think there was a green herb in this corner, or there's some in this corner. But yeah, so I barely make it through the antechamber, and then we get to the throne room, right? And I get dropped through the hole by Verdugo, as I am forced to watch as they shove blood down Ashley's throat, which I can only assume is to quicken the Las Plagas process. And so, oh yeah, and Ada was talking to Wesker. I'm assuming it was Wesker anyway, about the mutt, which I'm assuming is Leon and not Louise. I think they want you to think it's Louise, but it's actually Leon. Basically, Ada convinced Wesker to let Leon live because he could be useful. So she's trying to convince Wesker of Leon's usefulness so Wesker doesn't, you know, say terminate him, essentially. So, and then she sees Ashley being carried off and gives Leon the tip, right? But then we get thrown down here, and my goodness, into the depths, right? Where we find, you know, the skull, or the crown, which is already at 50 pesos, right? So we need two more squares, preferably, and I mean preferably, red and blue. Because I've already got the yellow one in there, I think. Right? I'm colorblind, so excuse me. Yeah, we've already got the yellow, the green one, whatever, in there. So, then I come down this hallway, right? And I make it into this room and I read all about the chamber and stuff. And I realize where we're at. This is the Verdugo boss fight. And here's my thought process is I was at 40, I was in the mid 40s. I think when I got over there, I was like, I'll come over here. I'll end off the chapter. Everything will be great. And then I realized I have a boss fight up ahead. And I'm like, there's no way I can finish this boss fight in roughly 10 minutes. I thought being thrown down here would end the chapter. No. Not at all. Oh yeah, there's a little nitrogen note. Enough of previously on Dragon Ball. As I love to do. Man, there's a lot of test subjects. May, 9 years since my awakening. Chronicles of Pursuit. Upon the release of this valve, black liquid shall enter my veins and circulate throughout my entire body. I expect this will be the most painful experience of my life. I await the trial with great anticipation. It is an honor to suffer through the holy labor of rebirth. The next time I awaken, it will be as true servant of Master Ramon. I, Isidro Urarte Talavera, make this vow. I will surpass the limitations of man and become a true servant of God. I will find the heretics and serve as their executioner, their Verdugo. Oh, is that what Verdugo is? Like, is that what that means? Or is I'm just interpreting that wrong? The Verdugo. Yeah, so here's my thing is not doing good on ammo, actually. Like I can't I can't have these two fully, which just leaves me with that one. And that's not good. And then I have no submachine gun ammo at all. Which here's the thing, like I could make handgun ammo if I wanted to, but I don't, because I want to make shotgun shells. Ah, there's more handgun. I don't want to touch that yet, and I don't want to touch that yet. Alright, there's a boot knife. I already got a knife equipped. That's fun. There's more handgun ammo. Where am I at now? 41, that's not too bad actually. Out of service appliances. To conserve electricity, the power has been turned off for some equipment, including the elevator. It can be restored by flipping the circuit breaker located at the very back of the laboratory. Huh. Ain't that a coinky dink?
These people are not right.
Verdugo's a scientist. I just thought he was an executioner, but I never interpreted this in the OG. Well, yeah, because I don't think this equipment is in the OG. I think this is just literally like a bunch of mindless BS. You know? There's... Okay. What did that do? Momo? Oh! I pressed circle! Jesus, I hate this game. Oh. Wait, what? So I just bolt back for it? Holy crap! Oh. Yep. Why is it hold? This is so dumb.
What's your move?
Ow! That reach is stupid. Okay. Oh. Oh! Ah! Ha! It's just another green herb. Bro. Why? Oh.
So we're playing hide and seek, is that it?
Indeed. I mean, okay. Oh! Oh, that's done. Didn't know that. Ah!
Tired it seems. Pitiful little lamb.
Your suffering can end, just as it has for our youngest daughter, who has joined us in communion, and now she is of our flesh, of our blood. My faithful disciple will show her the path. Go now. Deliver to these vagrant children their salvation. As you wish.
Kind of reminds me of Harry Potter. Where Harry starts seeing stuff through his Voldemort's eyes.
I'll make it cheap for you.
Okay, bud. Dude, my accuracy's got to be terrible in that. That's got to be like 50s. I'm afraid to see it. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Like, super tanked. That hurt. Ah. But it's super intense. That's for sure. So with that, obviously, the Verdugo very reminds me a lot of the original one. I'm not gonna lie, definitely does remind me a lot of the original Verdugo fight. Obviously, the area's a bit darker than the original game. And I did not kill Verdugo. I don't even know if you can. You probably can kill Verdugo in that moment, because I think in the original it's the same thing. You can kill Verdugo, or just go in the elevator and leave. I think in the OG I've killed him. I think. I'm not 100% for sure. But I don't know if in the remake that's the case, or if, you're not supposed to kill him there, because it's like, I don't know if he, like, destroys the nitrogen panels after you use them once. Because he destroyed that one. Obviously, he didn't destroy the one over by the other room, because I used it twice on him. But the one leading to the elevator, yeah, he destroyed that. I was only able to use that one once. And then I realized, I still had one more, and I was like, oh, the hallway. Because I remember pressing it as I came in. I was like, there's one in the beginning part of the hallway. But yeah, it's weird. The first time I fought the bug, I was extremely panicked, and I hated it. Like, it made me feel like I was outmatched, because I didn't know, like, what was good against it yet, or how to take it out yet. I wasn't accustomed to defeating it. It was brand new, fresh for this game. Obviously, I hate them in the original one as well. I hate going to that stupid nest area. It's my least favorite part of the game. But then you go into the ballroom, and the ballroom was really good at making me feel comfortable and handling them. Now the bug dudes, I'm not afraid of anymore. I'm not afraid of the bugs anymore. So, I mean, that's a positive. But yeah, so the bugs, when I first fought them in that first hallway and on that stairway up to the ballroom, I felt very outmatched against them, because I just wasn't familiar with them or comfortable facing them. And then in the ballroom, I want to say maybe after like the first 2-3 kills. No, I know. It was the moment when I killed it with the handgun for the first time. The moment I killed it with the handgun for the first time, it was when I got comfortable and my skills in killing them. Because it's like, now I know I can kill them with any of my main guns. Obviously the shotgun, the sniper, and the handgun. And then, so the bugs were stressful for me. But here's the other reason why I knew my accuracy is going to be so terrible is the merciless knight down in the basement or whatever, the mausoleum. That night, those 3 nights, those are the reason why I knew my accuracy is going to be terrible, because it's like I have to hit a specific spot to make their head explode, and then I can shoot for the kill. But hitting those specific spots is so hard when it's on the back of their neck. Hate it. Hate it so much. Like the Merciless Knight, his weak spot was literally directly on the back. Wasn't on the side, wasn't just easy access from the front. No, you had to get behind him to shoot him, but he's so quick that it's hard to get behind him and get good shots on him from behind. Because you only have like 2 to 3 seconds at most to shoot him from behind on that weak spot. So when you're just shooting to shoot and you're just trying to get there, by the way, yeah, I'm extending the time a little bit by just talking about the chapter we played. That makes it a little hard. Right. So, overall, it was a challenging and a fun way, the Merciless Knight. The only thing I don't like, or the only thing I could regret about that, is the amount of resources I put into the fight. I didn't like that, obviously. But I don't care, right? In the end, I didn't care, because I moved on, I didn't reset. Or I did care, but I didn't care enough. I just moved on. That was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. But better to go in with healing items than not healing items, because that was a tough fight. It really was. It was tougher than the Mutt. Like, the Savage Mutt was nothing compared to that Merciless Knight. Mostly because the Merciless Knight had 2 friends, and Knights are my second least favorite enemies in this game. Maybe one. Maybe my number 1. I never like fighting dogs in Resident Evil. I always hate the dog enemies. They're super quick, hard to hit, and annoying as hell. They're not fun. Like, I don't find them fun. I find them to be one of the most stress-inducing enemies in the Resident Evil series. And honestly, it's always an enemy type that I would not complain if they cut at all, but I would understand if people complained that they got cut or were not in the game. Like, RE7 had its own version of the dogs with like the creepy crawly 4-legged molded creature as like the stand-in dog, Hi, Momo. Obviously, Village had werewolves. Very European-centric, mythological-based Village is. But yeah, that fight in general, the Merciless, to me, so far, Chapter 10 has been the toughest fight. Or the toughest chapter. Like, Chapter 10 so far has been the roughest one for me. In general. Like, I doubled the amount of times I got damaged in that chapter. 45. Holy shit. At least I stayed above 50. I mean, I'll give myself salvage for that. Because I don't think if it wasn't for the Knights, I don't think my accuracy would be so bad. If it wasn't for the Knights and some moments in the double Garrador fight, I don't think it would be so bad. Because I did pretty well with my shots on the bugs themselves and the Garradors themselves. Because here's the thing. Like, am I losing percentage if I hit the Garrador, but I don't hit the Garrador in a damaging spot? Like, does that count as a miss? Even though I hit the target, I just didn't hit him where it hurts the most? Or his weak spot? So that's what I want to know. Because if that's the case, then yeah, I probably missed a lot in that Garrador fight in general. But yeah, that double Garrador room with all the cultists. I think so far has been my least favorite room and probably one of the more challenging rooms to do because of how erratic and unpredictable the Gyarados are. Like, you go all the way back to chapter 1 and the village is overwhelming, but it's time based. You don't have to beat them all. You don't even have to beat the Chainsaw Man. I didn't. The valley was annoying, but I got there, you know? And I got lost. That's why it was annoying. But if I didn't get lost, the valley wouldn't have been that bad. And I missed the key, which is also a frustrating point. But yeah, so I lost that, and then the chainsaw with the two things, not that bad. That was fun. That was redemption. I got to kill the chainsaw man. And then, of course, chapter 3 with Del Lago, right? That was chapter 3? Or was that chapter 4? No, I think chapter 3 was Del Lago. Chapter 3 ends with Del Lago. So it's like your first time at the church, the bridge, and the fish farm. And then Del Lago. And the fish farm was fun. I enjoyed the fish farm. It was good. I enjoyed that bridge section. It was good. I died. Sure. Yeah, whatever. And then you had the lake exploration chapter, which was fun. I enjoyed doing all of that. Ending with you going back to the church. So you had... I guess I will say I enjoyed going back to the lakeside village. And I enjoyed the puzzles and the exploration of the lake. But I honestly did not enjoy the combat section leading up to the first head with the annoying puzzle, and then me taking so long to figure out what the puzzle is and how I'm supposed to solve the puzzle. That more enemies spawned. That was annoying. And then you get to the church, and then there's the stained glass puzzle, which is a whole nother can of worms for me. So that was stupid. But that's just my own eye deficiency making that harder for me. But overall, chapter 4 overall is probably one of my favorite chapters. Just because of the exploration of the lake, and it's so similar to the swamp in Resi 5. So similar to that. But better. So I can only imagine how they would reimagine the swamp area in Resi 5 like they did with the lake and Resi 4. Because the Resi 4 lake is very similar to the Resi 5 thing and how that plays out. Very similar. You go to multiple points attached to the lake, the swamp, defeat enemy, get objective, get item, go back to key door. Except that one you need like 3 or 4. I think there's 3 or 4. You have to go get one. This one there's only 2. But you could go back to the lakeside village. There's the chicken aisle. There's the shipwreck. You could go back to the area in front of the fish farm. And then there's the cave, which has obviously the access to the key for the church, the first head, and another little hidden coop with 2 treasures. If you shot one anyway. You might be able to shoot from there. Who knows? But I enjoyed chapter 3, and I enjoyed chapter 2, and I enjoyed chapter 1. They were all enjoyable, but chapter 4 stand out to me. And then chapter 5, I struggled getting out of the church, or not getting out of the church, but after you get out of the church, leaving the church, because I just tried running past them, but Ashley kept getting grabbed. So that was a nightmare. Because, there's no way we were going to get past them all, just running like crazy bozos. Right, and then I grenaded Ashley. That was funny. And then there was the mutt. The mutt was in this one. You returned to the village. That was fun. For the 3rd time, actually, in this case. And then it ends with the cabin fight. Right, I was not expecting the cabin fight. And the cabin fight, to me, still has to be the most intense section I've done so far, with the village underneath it. Because it's so overwhelming. But again, you don't have to defeat everybody. You don't have to defeat the big pig brute. I didn't. I could have if I was given another 2 minutes or a minute and a half. But I also could have died in that minute and a half, 2 minutes. Chapter 6 was Mendez's boss fight and the Bella sisters. And that tiny little section in between the start and the Bella sisters. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. This is probably my second favorite chapter, I think, so far, because I really loved the Bella sister fight. Honestly, that was super fun. The Mendez boss fight was very visually intriguing. I feel like they cut the slaughterhouse in half, because I feel like in the original game you had the full slaughterhouse until you entered the second stage, and then which I think it started catching on fire. Whereas in this game, it's on fire immediately. I think in the original one, you started the fight, and then halfway through the fight, it was on fire. I could be wrong, but I think that's how that worked. And then it got cut in half, I'm pretty sure. Or it just kept getting smaller because the fire. And they cut out the lift section and replaced it with a really neat set piece of you just running and trying to kill enough villagers to make room for you and Ashley to escape. That was a really nice set piece. Intense, but nice. And then chapter 7 was the start of the castle, which was like the fire cannons. Or I guess they weren't using cannons. We used the cannon. They were using what is it? Catapults. Fire catapults. The fire catapult section, which is very iconic. The water room, which was super intense still. Again, I feel like they watered it down, pun intended. Because I feel like in the OG Resident Evil 4, you had more of an open area to run around. I know there was rooms you had to go into. Like I said, I know there's a room where you had to use her to stay on a weight block so you could go on the other one to activate something. But I feel like there was more room to move and run in that game, whereas they streamlined the first half in this game, and there's no extra room to walk into for you in this one like there is in the original. But I feel like the second half, when Ashley's up top and cranking, getting to the two cranks, is basically the same. I don't think that one changed at all. But they really watered down the first half of the water room. But it's still a visually pleasing room. Still beautiful to look at and stuff. And of course it ends with, Ashley and all that. And then chapter 8, I'm pretty sure it was the garden. No, it wasn't the garden. Chapter 9 was the garden. Chapter 8, that's right. That was you getting through some of the castle and then running along the castle wall line with the El Gigante throwing stuff at you. Alright, that was a fun chapter. I enjoyed that. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the last three. So I feel like 4, 6, and 7 are all really solid chapters, and I really love them. 5's good, but I just struggled so much that I kind of don't look back at it as fondly. And then there's the Mutt. That was a bullet sponge. Not as hard as the Merciless Knight, mind you. And then 1 through 3 are just kind of solid intro chapters, intro missions. And then 4 is I feel like when the game really starts striding with its openness and level structure. And then of course, oh yeah, how could I forget the El Gigante boss fight? I almost forgot about the El Gigante boss fight. That was that boss fight is pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. There's not much of a difference. Other than it's harder to dodge. That I noticed. For sure. But yeah, chapter 8 was really fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy treading back to it in chapter 9 to get some treasure I missed, but that's neither here nor there. Uh, that's because that moment when you get up there on that second rooftop is when the El Gigante happens, so you don't have really have time to run off to the right to do that and get the treasure. You They kind of make it to where you have to come back. But then I missed another treasure, and then it's like I'm not even gonna go back for that treasure because I don't even have a key to get that one. So what's the point? But it's like I love the courtyard and the maze that it is. I just kind of wish it wasn't dogs that were there in the courtyard because, as y'all know, courtyard my least grave dogs one of my least favorite enemy types in Resident Evil in general. Just because I don't like dealing with them. Uh, but yeah, chapter 9 was long. So yeah, it's like the courtyard. I love it visually. Wish it had more diverse enemies, not mostly like 85% dogs, with like 2, 3 normal guys, and then they cap it off with 3 mutated dogs, and you fight 2 mutated dogs on your way. So there's like 5 mutated dogs you fight in there. And of course, then there's the art gallery section, the armor knight section, the king and queen dining puzzle. Like, I enjoyed all 3 of those. That's a lie. I enjoyed the puzzle. I hate the armored knights. I do. I always have, but there's something about them in this game that just I feel like they're more annoying. And I know that's the intended target, but I feel like if there was a little less of them, I wouldn't be so annoyed with them. Plus, they are very good at driving your accuracy down. um, the art gallery was a tale of 2 stories. The first time was a living nightmare. I hated that moment. I hated that section and that moment in time because I just could not. I felt like every sniper bullet I was shooting at the dude was missing somehow, or it was like the game was trying to tell me, "Oh, you hit the guardrail and not him," and I'm like, "No, it was on him, not the guardrail." And he kept sprouting the heads, and it just became a giant whole thing for me. Ashley went down, and somebody picked her up while she was down, and game over. Because I didn't know if somebody picked Ashley up and she was incapacitated, it was an instant game over. I didn't know that. I do now. So the next time I tackled it, to really hammer down the dude before it gets too overwhelming, before too many people come over to you and too many people are attacking you. Which is what I did. I threw the 2 grenades up there and just sniped him till he was dead. And then focused on the normal guys. Right? Because by the time he was dead, one of them was already like right on me, I think almost. And then you get to Ashley's sections, which I adored. I loved Ashley's section. I really did. Honestly, it makes me wish there was another one in the game. I know there's not going to be. Because why would they? There was only one in the original, so there should only be one in the remake. Just like how there's only one section for Ada and Remake 2. There's only one section for Sherry and Remake 2. And I believe there's only one section for Carlos and Remake 3. It's extended. It's a lot longer than Ashley, Ada's, and Cherry's. It's probably like the length of those 3 combined almost. Because you go through the police station and you go through the hospital. And then you wake Jill up, and then Jill takes over from there until the end of the game. Right? But there's only one moment where there's only one chunk where you take control of Carlos. It's not like you're alternating. No, you play as Jill up until she gets, infected with the T-virus. Then he took over as Carlos until you cure her of the T-virus, and then she wakes up and you're Jill until the end of the game. Right? Just like this. Leon gets trapped in his little cage, which you do play as in the main game. because there's a Gyarados that jumps into the cage with you. Which I feel like in this game, that would be impossible. Like, you in a cage. Of course, in that game, it's a square. In the OG, it's a square. In this one, it was more round, like a bird cage. You in a bird cage shape cage with a Gyarados and 2 or 3 guys. And I think guys jump in, too. Because obviously in that one, there's a top to it. I mean, technically, I guess there was a way that you could shoot the key. Like, there's a way you could shoot it. You didn't have to take the keys, I don't think. I'm pretty sure there was a way you could get around not having the key to get out. But, yeah, you had to kill the guy, the cultist with the keys, to escape. You didn't necessarily have to kill the Gyarados in that moment. But, yeah, so that was vastly different from the original game. Because in this game, you don't play it. It's just a set piece for Leon to be trapped. It's an excuse for the game to transition into playing as Ashley. So that means another thing was you needed Ben Nose's eye to use it as recognition to enter something in the original game, whereas in this game it's just a sellable piece, kind of like every time you kill a lord in village, you get like their crystallized thing, and you can sell their crystallized body or piece for money, because that's all it's useful for. It's kind of what Mendez's eyes is in this game. Because, like I said, in the original, you use his eye to get in somewhere. They cut the lift. I believe, unless they just haven't done it yet, which I'm not sure. I think I've already passed the moment that it would have happened. The section where you're up above and you're sniping people while Ashley's chained to a wall. Which then I'm pretty sure that's what leads into her playable section in the original game. I think they cut that. In favor of combining basically, or cutting it to streamline, doing the whole Cage Leon thing, keeping that in there, but not making the player play it, by then transitioning to Ashley and having Ashley find a way to get Leon out of it, which was really nice. I enjoyed that. Like, that story piece, like, everything to do with the Ashley section was great. And then you just get to chapter 10, which, like I said, so far has got to be my least favorite chapter of the game so far. Because of the Merciless Knight extra boss, I hated that Gold Knight, dude. I never liked the bugs. Probably my 4th least favorite enemy in the game. Maybe 3rd. And then you had the ballroom, which I didn't mind the ballroom. The ballroom was probably my favorite part in the whole chapter, aside from the cutscene. Because I really enjoy the cutscenes in this game. The story is told phenomenally. That is for sure. And then you go down to the depths, which was another part I liked. I liked the depths. And Verdugo's boss fight, I didn't mind. I didn't hate it. I'm a little curious, though, if you could kill Verdugo in that moment, or if you can't kill Verdugo. I'm a little curious on that one. I don't know. So if you're even here at this point, like, dude, I've just been talking for I don't even know how long, but I'm about to wrap this up. Because I've just been recapping and ranting almost. But yeah, honestly, the reason why this is my least favorite chapter is because of the optional thing I did, the Merciless Knight, and the double Gyarados room. If it wasn't for those 2 things, I don't think I would dislike this chapter as much. Because while I did enjoy my time in the bug room, I feel like the endless spawning of the bugs is a little overdone. I don't think they should have done that. I think they should have capped the bugs at a point. Like, you kill all the bugs and then you can just roam the room freely. I think they should have done that. The endless spawn of them was kind of stupid. And if they did stop spawning at some point, then let the music stop, please. Uh, yeah, that would have been great. I would have been grateful for that. And then the Verdugo fight, like I said, I didn't mind it, and I don't think it really takes away from the chapter at all. I think it's just my dislike for the bugs, and there being a lot of bugs in this chapter to fight. With the double Garrador fight being so absurdly annoying. Like, honestly, I don't think I would have minded that room as much if it was just the two Garradors and maybe that first wave of enemies. If there was no people dropping from the ceiling at any point, it was just those first few enemies. I think there was like 3 or 4 of them in there. 2 up front, 2 in the back maybe, and then the double Garradors. I don't think I would have minded that fight as much. As much. To be fair, I let the Garradors do most of the work. It's like I would shoot a couple dudes and then just watch the Garradors rip them to shreds. I think the Garradors killed more people in that room than I did. Mind you. So yeah, I hope Chapter 11's better. You know, I hope I enjoy Chapter 11 more than I did Chapter 10. I hope there's nothing as mind-numbingly frustrating as that double Garrador fight or the Merciless Knight in Chapter 11. Because it's like, I don't mind it if there's like an annoying boss, like extra boss or whatever, every once in a while. Because it seems like there's going to be one in every area, because you had the Savage Mutt, right, in Chapter 5. And then now you have the Merciless Knight in Chapter 10. Both only one in one area. So I'm assuming the island is going to have one similar to those two that I'm not looking forward to at all, because I don't know what it could be. Could be a regenerator for all I know. Hope it's not. Like, here's your Iron Maiden plus 2 regenerators. No, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're coming up to the end on the castle section, actually. But yeah, tomorrow I work 12:39, so this will be my last episode for the night. But then, you know, I work 2 to 9 on Thursday. So I'll have a little more leeway to record at night than tonight. Because tonight I've got to go to bed at like 1:32, so I have enough sleep to work an 8.5-hour shift. And then, you know, that night I'll be able to, you know, have to go to Walmart and buy some potty pads for Momo because she's running low. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying the game. I think, as always, I enjoy these remakes almost more than the originals. But that's because I'm just not a big fan of tank controls. Like, I played Code Veronica and I just can never get used to the tank controls in that game. If I can't get used to the tank controls in Code Veronica, what makes you think I'm going to get used to the tank controls in OGRE and OGRE2? Like, I own them. I own Resident Evil Director's Cut, and I own Resident Evil 2 on PlayStation 1, both of them on PlayStation 1. Will I ever play them? I don't know. Like, I probably will, but I don't think I'll ever be able to beat them just because I'm not good at tank controls and getting used to them in general. So I like the more updated, modern controls. Um, like Resident Evil Remake, the tank controls in that game, the modernized tank controls in Resident Evil Remake, chef's kiss, beautiful. If they remade Resident Evil 2 with those tank controls, I would love that. Or even just, put Resident Evil 2, 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica on the store digitally with those with those modernized tank controls from Resident Evil Remake. Like, wow, chef's kiss, I would play them. Because those tank controls I could deal with, no problem. But OG tank controls, not a big fan. But yeah, I think that's enough for the end of my rant. I'm sorry if you listened to this. This has been like almost 20 minutes of me ranting because, I've got issues. So I hope you all have a great day. Remember, you can be the best you could possibly be. Doubt you're going to make it this far anyway. If you want to make your residence down below and hit all those buttons and make yourself nice and cozy at home, that'd be great. Ta ta for now.